The All-Devouring Whale, Episode 6, now out, so let's frickin' talk about it. The newest episode of this donghua is now out for you guys to go and check out, and it's Episode 6 of this donghua that is, again, showcasing why I have it in my top 10 currently, right now, for the year. Because Episode 6... brilliant. I mean, we got two major things that happened in here. We got more world building and lore about the spirit pets and how things can work. And we got confrontations with different people that we're like, okay, now I see you're setting the tone. And it's definitely a lot more bloodier than Pokemon is. That is for sure. So we start off with the leader of the pavilion. She meets her brother again, brother Duan, the guy that left with the cat. He is back. He is standing there. And obviously she was in a confrontation with these two other guys. And they're like, hey, get out of here. Like, let us deal with it. My man summons his cat, who is still alive, except it's not the same as before. And it was quite heartbreaking to see this, because obviously, the whole pavilion went down, and we know Brother Duan decided he was going to leave because he couldn't handle it anymore. It was just not the same. And then losing his cat on top of that was just the point of no return for him. So when she goes up and she's like, oh, look, he's there. And it turns, and it's not exactly what it seems to be. It's like a half-dead cat at this point, because its eye here is all like fleshy and stuff like that. Its leg is got bone and that. So this is where we learn he's actually joined like this ghost sector. He's part of like this ghost one. So obviously they have some sort of ritual that can bring your spirit pet back from the dead, but obviously there's a curse maybe, or some sort of like requirement to where it's going to be half dead. And it's a lot more vicious. It's a lot more aggressive. And the way that it's done is beautifully, like, animation wise is stunning, but this cat shreds those two guys' spirit pets comfortably. Like, it's slicing, it's bloody, it's gory, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, so this guy's cat is now bigger, stronger, but way more aggressive. And then the fact that it was sitting there and it's eating the bones of the spirit pets that were left and stuff, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, okay. All right. That's insane. So now we know a bit of an idea of you can keep your spirit pet alive to a degree, I guess. I'm really interested in that ghost sector and to understand how this process works and why this cat is still alive but looks the way it is. I think it's very interesting. But the whole thing with her and him saying, look, I'm not your brother anymore. I'm not coming back. It's done. It's over. The ghost sector is where the true power lies. So you can see that he's consumed by it already, and he walks away. She's shattered. That was all great. And then we get into the next bit where we have Chang, who is the blue-haired guy from the pavilion. And he and his little spirit pet, having this little comedy chat and stuff. They're like, oh, look, there's the ball and that. And he's like, I'm so powerful, no one wants to mess with me and that. And he grabs the orb, puts it in there. And this is where we meet another new clan. The Dragon Above Heaven or something. Over Heaven or something like that, I think it's called. And this is where we get even more world building and lore about spirit pets, because this is something that is very interesting that I want to know more about and how this actually works. So he's like talking to it, Chang's talking to him and like, oh yeah, I'm fine, I can beat you and stuff like that, what are you gonna do? You're just a child. This man summons a freaking dragon. This man summons a freaking dragon, and it was spectacular how he summoned it, man. It looked incredible. And I'm sitting there like, okay, so we got dragons too? Let's freaking go. But this is where we find out that this is actually like a half spirit pet sort of thing. I'm not 100% sure quite how it works. So anyone that's read it or anything like that, please let me know how this sort of works, because I'm intrigued by it. But you're able to sort of like connect them when they're younger in a way, but it's not quite the same as how you connect with your spirit pet now. It's not like the contract sort of way. This is like a different way, and when they were explaining a bit of it, I was like, okay, that's very intriguing. And that's why, but also at the same time, he doesn't have full control over the dragon. So it's very, very interesting. Like the dragon almost has its own personality to where it can defy the master and stuff because he talks about like, you're supposed to listen to me at training. This is why it doesn't happen because you crashing and you're doing this, you're not listening. I find it all very, very interesting. But this kid is insane. And he beats Chang down without the dragon, with just his hand. He has like this emperor power. And it's very interesting as well to see how that develops. Because he starts to unlock it and use it. And he just beats the spirit pet and Chang up. But it's the Chang backstory when we start to understand where this character came from. And the resemblance that he has to this kid. And what his father did to him. And I thought that was fantastic. That was emotional watching him go through all this. His father dismissing because he's got no talent. He's not strong enough. And then the moment where the father turns up and stops the other kid, the dragon kid, and goes, no, no, you're not supposed to kill people and stuff like that. And then he raises his hand up like this as they're walking away. And this triggers a traumatic experience for Chang. But then he sees him put his hand on his son's head and then like, you know, do the whole what you do with your son and stuff like that, where you scruff their hair and stuff. And you can see that it really hurts him because that's all he wanted from his father. He just wanted to be accepted. So it's beautiful storytelling as well. It's the old show, don't tell. You know, just from watching that image, you understood where he was coming from and how he felt. And that is great storytelling. You don't need to tell me that. I can see it. I can visualize it. And it was brilliant. And then basically Chang says to him, look, I'm going to defeat you. No matter what, I will defeat you. So he's got a bit of fire in his belly still. So it's all interesting. So I really enjoyed this episode. I thought the action was phenomenal. The fighting was great. The animation was beautiful. This has got such great animation. I absolutely love it. The story is really good as well. Like the narrative and the development of the characters is something that I truly appreciate because they're not just focusing on Liu. They're not just focusing on him, Mr. Fan, and developing him. They're developing the side characters as well because now I'm more attached to the relationship that's going on with the leader and Duan. What's happening with them two? Like how does she feel now? I'm attached to that. I'm attached to Chang now. I understand where he's coming from. So I'm loving that they're developing these characters rather than just focusing on the main character and just running with that. Because a lot of animes and a lot of shows and stuff like that can do that. They can be just one main character centric and just not develop anyone else. But by developing everyone else, we all get attached to them. So when they're involved in the battle, we actually care. So I really, really enjoyed this episode. I can't wait for next week's episode. This is just getting better and better. And the new lore that they're adding in, the new world building, the different styles of pets and stuff like that, have got me so intrigued. I really want to know more about this ghost clan. And I really want to know more about this half spirit life pet thing. I want to know more about it. So let me know your thoughts on this episode. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you not? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.